pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your heads. Heavenly Father, please bless all who have gathered here tonight to listen to the city's business. Please bless the commissioners that are here, that they would make the right decisions in your eyes. Bless our troops that protect our freedoms, and through Christ our Lord, amen.
Amen. Now call this meeting to order. All right, first thing we have is consent agenda for our last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read that over?
There was one item in there under the purchase of the radios for the police department. I think Commissioner Thursby did make the motion, second by Commissioner McCrone, but I was the person that suggested where the money was coming from. I got a call from Channel 7 News that did talk about it, and I thought, boy, they're hard up with the news if they want to talk about that. But anyway, that would be the only change I would make in there.
Did you talk to them?
No.
I didn't hear.
That wasn't necessary.
No comment.
So anyway, with that, I'll make a motion we approve with that change.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner Bed, second by Commissioner Third. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Mr. Lynn Todd, you in the building? Would you mind coming up front? Jim?
Yes, sir.
I want you to help me present this, because you've worked with Lynn a little longer than I have. Well, I don't know if you've been with us a very long time. You can build that.
I think most of us in the room know who Ms. Lynn Todd is. Ms. Lynn Todd has been working for the city since 37 years, 1978.
Wow.
Ms. Todd has had a long history with the city. She's had a stellar career with the city. We owe a lot of thanks to Ms. Todd. Ms. Todd is the one that takes care of our compliance. She's kept us out of trouble for many, many years. Big shoes to fill.
There it is. There it is.
I think y'all got shoes that don't fill them, y'all gonna do all right.
Ms. Todd, we certainly do appreciate everything you've done for us. We'll have another plaque to give away. Anyone here from Pebble Ridge? Right, there he is. Come on up, buddy. And this is in anticipation of good news later. Don't let me take it back.
I think those are orders first.
Yeah, let's do this first. Anyway, everybody knows Pebble Ridge has been our engineering consultants, and they've been with us for 23 years. And for the recognition of their 23 years to the city of Fort St. Joe, they have done a lot of things. A lot of things been done behind the scenes that people don't know about. Mr. Ralph Rich has been a good friend to this community, not only with his business, but with himself. He's helped us with a lot of issues we needed help with. He didn't mind stepping up to the plate. And we thank him for everything they've done, for his input, right on down to his company for the city. So Clay would like to give this to you and say thank you very much.
Mayor, I thought you were gonna hold that until we got the golf cart crossing.
Well, we might have to rescind it. All right, everybody. Man, Fort St. Joe redevelopment agency report. Good evening. Good evening.
Just an update, in our meeting tonight, in case you see this work going on in Core Park, we had money budgeted for a lot of improvements in Core Park, and then we were lucky enough to receive a grant that gave us the opportunity to reallocate funds in Core Park. And what we're doing, starting next week, is we're gonna haul in quite a bit of field. There's a big depression behind Ronnie B's, right next to Minnesota Drive. We're gonna fill that depression in and go ahead and put some parking spots in on Minnesota Drive between the Edwin Keeper's Quarters house And Ronnie B's, at least 10 parking spaces right there. We're trying to get that work done prior to the Scott Festival and get the grass going back where the pond is filled, not pond, but depression. Is there any questions about any of that? It's basically 10 parking spots, make the park a lot more usable.
Appreciate the words.
And we'll continue with that work will pick up again in Core Park when the grants come through, I guess in July, August timeframe. We'll start working on the second house, and we have a grant to paint the lighthouse and do a lot of good things down there. Any questions about any of that?
No, let me make a little comment. Since Bill has been working with us, I think we've probably accomplished more in the short period of time he's been working with us than we've accomplished in probably 10 years. So thank you, Bill, for your foresight, and your ideas, and things are looking up real good.
I appreciate that. I enjoy doing it. It's been a lot of fun.
And I just say Bill does take a great interest in it, he takes pride in his work, so I know he's gonna do a good job when he does something, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any questions, anybody?
Mr. City Attorney.
First item I have is, City, William David Garner versus City of Fort St. Joe. There is a settlement agreement and release in your materials. There has been one minor change to it since that was delivered to you, and that has put a time limit on him for the time he has to, provide his letter of resignation. This is something that we talked about, and it's something that the city commission has to formally approve, to wrap up all of the issues with him, with the exception of workers' comp, that will continue to play out.
Need a motion on this?
Yeah, you need a motion and a vote to approve it.
Motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Ashbrook. I'll second. Second by Commissioner Third. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to, line item number 2, of course, is where he submits a letter of resignation, and we have to, it has to be mutually agreeable, between him and us. If he writes a letter that basically we don't approve of, I guess it doesn't count. The part that bothers me a little bit is provide neutral references to all prospective employers. And, I don't know what we'd provide if we got I'm not sure he will put us as a reference on any of his employment, but if somebody does, ask us about that, or like us to comment on it, I don't know what we can say or do, or I need help on that. Can we
I'll
give
tell
them
you,
everything we have in our file, and it may not be neutral?
the discussion with his attorney was, and with our insurance company attorney was, dates of service, positions that he held, nothing else. If somebody asks us for his file, if somebody's looking at hiring him and they ask us for his file, they're gonna get what's in his file. Terminated for violation of policy. But if they just say, did he work here these dates and were these his positions, we're not to comment beyond that. There was some discussion of changing the information in FDLE relative to him. The city refused to do that. And so this isn't going to change anything that's in his file. If he wrote us a letter of resignation without the benefit of this agreement, it'd go in his file.
I assume any file from any city employee would be subject to open record requests.
It's public record.
All right, any discussion?
I tell you, I'm like Commissioner Bezet, I've still got a lot of heartburn with this, I'm telling you. I just, man, it's a hard pill to swallow. I know we need to move on, but man,
Anybody with anything else? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Likewise. Motion passes.
No. No.
Motion passes 3-2.
Page 5 of your package is some information from Ben 411. This is the same, sewer issue that we dealt with Mr. DeLillo, recently.
Is anyone here for being another tonight? There's several questions I'd like to answer. As far as his what he's wanting back, I mean, I don't know, I didn't think it was nowhere near the severity of the other building.
Well, there's some questions to be answered. How much of this was actually part of what we paid Mr. DeLillo? I don't know that we've had any input or discussion with them since we received this.
What's your recommendation?
Well, I think we need to confirm these numbers and then see what the recommendation might be.
Who actually went into business after, when this was reported? Did John, did you go in there, or Jim, or who?
We did go to the business afterwards. The majority of the damage was done to the actual structure of the building that was on the side with, Blackfeet Construction and, First, this spot, yes, on the other side. With being 411, best of my recollection on there, I think they did have a little bit come up through one of the drains in the actual building itself, but it was not nearly to the extent that it was on the other side.
How long was this business down, do you recall?
I believe it was only down for a couple hours during that day.
Jim, I saw I see a lot of material replacement, or coffee. I mean, did he lose that much?
That I can't confirm. I know on the other side with Blackfeet Construction, we actually put them up in the fire station because there was damage done on the other side. It was obvious. But, yeah, I'm not real sure the extent on the other side.
What do we need to table this?
I wouldn't do anything based on what we've got right
We
now.
wanted to get it out to you based on the information been provided to us, so at this point, we want everybody to do their homework on it, take a look at it. If it's something you want to entertain, let us know, we'll put it back on.
We'll table it for now.
I still remember it.
What else we got?
Ordinance 525, remember we had an issue about, alcohol sales within a certain distance of the Baptist church. We discovered that the ordinance that I certainly thought was valid and enforceable wasn't according to the circuit judge, and we've made some changes to it. If you want to proceed with it, then what I'd ask you to do is put it on next meeting for first reading, and then we'll advertise it for adoption at the first meeting in July.
So it tightens
Yeah,
that
tightens
ordinance
it
up.
makes it very clear that it's where the church is located that sets the distance.
decision, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have a choice.
Right.
I don't have a problem with first reading tonight.
Well, it's not quite ready for first reading tonight, so that's why we wanted to, if you want to go forward with it, it'll be ready for you next meeting.
I think you clarified some pushback.
Only other thing that I have is that the court meeting for tomorrow morning has been canceled. Eugene's out of town, at least one of the other court commissioners are out of town, so there won't be court meeting tomorrow.
Is that it for you?
That's all I got.
Tom, I noticed they got the site cleaned up, looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have, the board has a, potential customer coming Tuesday. We've got about half the day lined up with Chris Holly and Southern County folks.
All right. Jim?
Yes, sir. The first item we have on tonight under old business is the digital sign. After we had the presentation at last meeting, Mayor want to talk to us tonight about it.
I don't think it was last meeting. Okay, well, then we had our meeting with them, and I'd asked everybody at that time, if you had any questions about anything, please call Tom, and then Tom can talk to them, and Tom said nobody's called any questions.
That's right. I'm not for signing a contract with this company that have no customers right now.
Well, Port Authority has no customers, but they're gonna sign a contract and get somebody wants to come here, I guarantee you.
This is an open-ended contract that has no, cancellation date in there at all. I'm just.
Why would you want to ever cancel it?
Well, if it didn't work out to our advantage, that's the main reason I want to cancel it.
I mean, I've got reservations, I support the idea, but,
Absolutely.
when does it end? I mean, when do we have to stop paying 50%? I'm looking at this down
18
the road.
months. We got.
So in 18 months, we can go get our own advertisers and keep 100% of the money?
No.
That's my question. So what do we have, what are our options if we don't like working with this company?
What they have proposed is perpetual revenue agreement.
I don't like that
And
word.
I don't either. I believe that we need to have an out in this contract. Now, whether that's 5 years from now or some reasonable amount of time for them to get their investment back plus some return on it, I would not recommend you sign a contract with anybody that's perpetual.
But is that something these people acting like they'd be open to?
I don't know. Jim's got a phone number, the man told me he'd be here, if he had to be here, but it cost him $1,000 every time he comes. So I told him if we had any questions, we could call him. So I suggest Jim, you call him there, that number I gave you, and we got any questions for him, we can ask him. He's waiting on our phone number.
It sounds like from the board, we're looking at some kind of,
We need to have
maybe
an
a
out.
5-year term, is that something, is that where the board's looking at?
I'd like that
word out,
whole nother struggle. And honestly, I don't know why we don't look at buying our own sign and selling our own advertising.
I don't know what that would cost, but,
I mean, it's gonna cost $25,000, and then we sell ads for X number of dollars a month, which is not gonna be 400 like they were talking about.
They talking 200. 200 a month is their advertising.
But anyway,
Not
that's,
for
and then we'd have total control. We don't have total control with this. Somebody can be constantly saying, why in the world y'all advertising X, Y, Z?
Jim, can you get that man on the phone?
It scares me a little bit, Mayor, that's the only thing.
Well, I'm fine with, moving forward with it. We can just get some kind of ending date or something.
Okay.
We'll work on
You calling him, right?
it. Right now?
Yeah. I want to call him now.
Okay, I'll do it.
He's waiting on you to call him.
Okay.
I told him we needed him, we'd call him. If there was any questions that he needed to answer, and we need to ask him that question. Yeah. I would say, he probably don't want to go to less than 10 years.
So you make the money back on the side.
Right, make sure he makes everything
Well,
back.
I believe it said also that we wouldn't start getting paid till he got his money back.
It's been changed.
He has changed that, after I talked to him, to say the earlier of when he gets his money back or 18 months. He's got to start getting paid. But at that, even if in 18 months, by 5 years, he's got 100% return.
Hey, Bill, Jim Anderson, City of Port St. Joe, how are you this evening? I'm doing well. Hey, we're in the city commission meeting, and Mayor, Commission wanted me to give you a call. They did have a couple of questions. If you didn't mind, I can put you on speaker and let them ask a couple of questions to you. Okay, just a moment. Okay, you there, Bill?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
The question we have, I believe, is Bill, doesn't it? Bill is, would you be willing to put, a time for the contract to end?
Bill, the question was, right now, the current contract is proposed as perpetual. Whether wanting to see if you would consider a term on the actual contract.
How long a term are they thinking?
It's up to him.
10 years?
No,
How long y'all need?
5 at the most.
The number being kicked around right now is in the neighborhood of about 5.
No, we wouldn't be able to do that.
What would you do?
What would he do?
All right, where are you at? What kind of term are you looking at?
When we do digital locations, we usually get 30 years or longer, up to 60 years. And that's strictly, and then other ones we do actual perpetual easements, so we do a little bit of 30, a little bit of 60, and most of them are perpetual easements. We've got a lot of invested into it, and we're looking to do a partnership with cities that like to partner with us and continue to receive the revenue, and as long as we're doing everything we're supposed to do.
You know, guys, the only problem I have with this, it's been 3 weeks since we had a meeting, and nobody brought this up at all, till the last day. Why didn't we ask these questions in the last 3 weeks? That's my only question. Why didn't we do that? Why do we wait till the time?
It wasn't gonna change my mind.
I know, but you
I
could have
don't-
told
I
Tom
don't-
to ask him the question. Instead of just sitting here and all of a
I didn't
sudden,
need to
oh, I
ask
don't
him
wanna
the
do it if it's that.
I said I would,
I still see it as a win-win
want to
situation.
go in
for the city.
business with somebody that has no
I
customer.
love the plan, I just think you're tying up a piece of real estate for 30 years. It may not be a park, it may not be a park in 30 years.
Well, I mean, you know, all I'm gonna do is we can table this thing for the next meeting. And let everybody talk to somebody instead of sitting on your butts and doing nothing. I mean, my God, you had three weeks to ask these questions. I'm really mad about it. But we wait till the meeting, the day of the meeting, to bring these questions up.
I asked about that at the last meeting about.
You didn't call Tom like I asked
didn't need
everybody
to call
to.
Tom,
I asked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people to call Tom.
I asked the man right there, but I didn't need to talk to him.
I disagree with you, Representative Zed. I disagree with you.
That's okay.
But, we can table this next, we don't know, we're gonna table it to our next meeting.
Bill, they're gonna table it to the next meeting, so somebody will probably be in contact with you in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I didn't hear their question, so I don't know what they were saying.
They were looking at the term, that's what they were discussing.
Okay,
Okay, all right,
alrighty,
thank you.
okay, thanks.
Okay, the next item we have, any other discussion on the digital sign before we move on? Okay. Next item we have is in reference to the Mexico Beach PSJ backup water source. Commissioner, does that want to give you
Well,
an update?
Attorney Gibson's working on the interlocal agreement. He's been talking to Clay Smallwood and John. Clay feels like there's no meter there right now. There's a meter on the one that we share with Lighthouse. Feel like we need to meter it, and in that case, we need to get a price estimate so we can go to Mexico Beach folks and see if they'd be willing to share the cost of that. Is that pretty much where we are, Tom?
I think so, Dean. I mean, the engineer recommends, doesn't know how to value the water without putting a meter on it.
Staff would definitely recommend a meter on there. Mr. Grant and I have been kicking that around a couple of weeks. That was one discussion we had right after we got out of that meeting, was what kind of meter we could have, because you need one that can meter both ways. You know, Octo, yeah, it's called an Octo meter. We got a rough estimate of about $13,000 what we're thinking.
Has anybody talked to Bay County? Because you're not gonna sell Mexico Beach water without Bay County approving it.
Well,
Because
this
they're not willing to-
is not right now about selling water. Right now, this is about emergency water source, just like we have the Lighthouse Utilities. If we go down, they'll sell us water. If they go down, we'll sell them water on an emergency basis.
But we still have to have Bay County's approval.
I have no idea about that.
I think we would. I understand we probably would.
Not if it's if the
To
city,
sell their water.
if the city commission
Okay,
out
so-
there says,
Right, I mean, if they're backup service, if they use our backup as water, they gotta pay for it.
right,
So Bay County's gonna have to okay it and pay for it. Well, I understand. Unless you can tell me
no, I
different.
don't think so. If
See,
the,
the key word they're talking about,
look,
faith.
the
We wanna know.
emergency implies that Bay County is not able to supply them water. And so, city commissions in states of emergency have considerable power over what needs to get done. And so, the idea that the Mexico Beach City Commission would be faced with a situation where they weren't getting any water
Yeah.
and couldn't go get it anywhere else.
Do you think they want our water?
They said they did in their meeting.
Yeah, but did the citizens say that?
Do
I tell you what, most people in our town don't wanna drink our water. I mean, it's just, they're not saying the water's bad, but they don't wanna drink it.
I
So
thought,
what makes you think? I mean, we got good water coming from Larry's plant, but by the time it gets to your house, it ain't as good as it came from his plant. I can tell you that right now. But I had somebody call me the other day with a glass of water looked like Flint, Michigan. What it looked like to me.
Bo, I think we all agree we need to expand our system and try to sell
I have
water
always
to
said that.
the lower.
We gotta get our water.
To lower everybody's rate, so I would hope you're not against that.
It's all about selling. You know, let people be comfortable with drinking. If they're not gonna buy water, they're not, whether it's good water or not, they're not gonna be comfortable with it.
Right now,
And I have all indication when it comes out of Larry's plant, it is as good a water as you wanna see. I believe that. Then once it leaves us, I mean, we can still pursue it, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying it's a.
right
I
now,
think
it's
it's
just
far-fetched.
about the interlocal agreement that Mexico Beach agreed to partner with us on an emergency basis for water. Bay County's water system goes down.
If their whole council voted on it,
As far as I know, that's what Mayor Bailey told me.
I didn't know they voted.
So, anyway, that's the report.
Next time we have is in reference to the Centennial Building roof. In the agenda pack tonight, we did go back and pull out the material costs, and this when we started looking at it, Commissioner, they want to talk to you. about it.
We're, you know, Centennial Building is looking pretty bad. We've got to do something. We got a roofer to tell us that coating would probably solve the problem. Before that, we even had John go out and give some of the same, basically the same coating, and give us some estimates on what could be done. I really think we've got to do something. And, option one is to coat the flat roof on the front and back, as well as go all the way down 8 feet out from the scuppers. I think that's 95 feet from one end to the other. And that's the cost of $93.28. And we'll supply the labor, and I certainly would think and hope we'll go ahead and do that. We've got to protect the valuable resources we have. We don't spend a lot of money on it except utilities, basically.
Did anybody come by there after this bad rain we had this week?
Yes, sir.
Pretty bad.
Not that bad. A couple of windows leaking that we need to shore up. John, go ahead and tell what you went by in the middle of the rain.
Yeah, we went by yesterday, and what we saw were two windows leaking, one in the middle of the building on the right-hand side, and one above the door, by the ladies' restroom. So, the rain itself, the intensity wasn't very high. We've seen it fluctuate, it bounces all over the place. When you have a lot of rain in a short period of time, we see the issues with scuppers. In this case, yesterday it was more the windows. Again, we've started repairing some of those. The ones that are leaking were unfortunately the ones we haven't gotten to yet.
Commissioner Brazil, is this something that, where are you thinking the funding's gonna come from? Is this something that could wait till budget season to put in for next year? Is this something that you're thinking, BP money, or where's your head at?
Well, next year's budget's gonna be tighter than this year, as we all probably heard already. So, I mean, if we do nothing, we let it sit there and deteriorate. That's the bottom line. So, for $9,300, I think it'll solve our problem for a good long time.
Option two wouldn't be available?
I mean, yeah, it would, but you're not coating the flat roof completely. You're just going on the perimeter of it, and that scares me, especially around the HVAC equipment, everything that's up there right now. So,
John, y'all gonna do the labor, how long is it gonna take to do it? You got time to do it?
We would have to make time.
Right.
So,
What kind of time frame do you think it'd take to apply that? On option
well,
one?
it's a two-part application. You have to apply the primer first. And then that sets, up to 20 to 24 hours, and then you can apply the actual coating. You have to make sure because the roof material it's tacky, otherwise it won't cure. So, week and a half, start to finish by the time we clean it, make sure it's.
This $9,000 price tag really goes up to what? It's more than $9,000 when it comes to labor.
Well, we
Never
never
worked
on
on
the project yet.
They're not doing it for that. Wait a minute, when I rolled at the cemetery a while back, that's what they were saying about Jimmy, he's working anyway. I mean, I seen he's working anyway.
Yeah, I would just put a dollar, figure out how many folks we're talking about, and then, was it inmates or is it gonna be somebody else? So there's a couple different factors.
John, what's the temperature do with the application? Is it better to do it when it's cooler or?
Put
it on when it's hot?
It's actually, when we applied that first test, it was a little cooler. So the optimal range, if I remember correctly, was 70 to 98 degrees. So it's,
So October.
no, I mean, I think we're fine now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not.
And the thing is, too, I've got a little bit of experience in this torch down roof, this roll out roof that we torch it, mount it on there. And if we don't do the flat spots, we're really wasting our time. Yeah. Rex gave me heartburn on $100,000 and $30,000 and all that. I'll make the motion that we'll go with the 9,000 option one to, go ahead and proceed with that one. And we'll have to take these funds out of, DP funds.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Mazette, we have a second. Commissioner Third, we have a second. Second by Commissioner Mazette. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign, no. Motion passes 3-2.
The next item we have is in reference to the 4th of July fireworks. We have ordered up the fireworks. Currently, we have a $15,000 show on tap for July the 4th at 10 o'clock. We have all of our permits in hand from, for approval from the Joe Company to utilize the old mill site. So we're set for July 4th, 10 o'clock, $15,000.
Jim, have you had to have your meeting yet to go ahead and nail down the $15,000? Because I have been told that there's possibly another $5,000 out there for us. I would like to look into that and get a yes or no answer on that before we do that. Are we still okay with our time?
Generally, what we can do is, as long as you give me a couple weeks lead time before they start moving the fireworks towards us, because with fireworks, you have a lot of permits you have to get through state lines, but once, as long as we give them a little bit of time, they won't have a problem, and Chris said, I don't believe, another $5,000.
Let me ask a question. Back when we had the centennial celebration and we raised some money here and there, and we got some left that was gonna be, the book was gonna be produced, and that just seemed to fall in, the prime mover behind it, I think Dana Boyer, she had some health issues and so forth, and that money's just sitting there. Do we have plans to do that book, or could we just use some of that to help fireworks celebration?
We still have all of the pictures and everything to make the book with.
Yeah.
It has not been actively pursued in the last maybe 6 months, but the goal was still to produce the book. Is much further behind than anticipated.
Okay.
Next item we have is in reference to the TDC funding. As we discussed in the last few meetings, the TDC has got funding in there for the city in the amount of $10,000. Suggestions were for park improvements, those type of things. So kept it on the agenda for you to get your thoughts together, because from my understanding, we need to spend that money by the end of the fiscal year. So we've got a little bit of time, but we need to be making a decision and get a request into the TDC as to how you want to spend that money.
Mike,
We're talking about the walking path.
Yep.
That was one of them.
Can we go ahead and pursue getting bids on that?
We can work on some specs for you. Maybe what we could do is possibly I can get with our electricians and see if we can work up some type of specs to get to you for the next meeting based on their recommendations, if you would like. Okay. The last time we have under old business is Patton Park. Mayor signed off on the sales contract today, or sales agreement on there for the closing docks. The closing will be on the, I think it's on the 16th, I believe is the new closing date on, yes.
And what did we wind up getting for that?
65, the full price. Yep.
Full price. Then asked, once they drop the price, they agree to pay full price.
Good negotiation.
The other item is in reference to the power poles that are on the property. As part of one of the sales agreements was that we would remove them. We've not had any success with Duke Energy on reducing those prices, so it looks like we're gonna be $3,000 price tag. We're still working it, but
Is that per pole?
that would be a
And that's,
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I want to get on the pole.
They killed those transformers?
you know.
To my knowledge, I think, but I don't know if we want to get up on the pole to find out. But yeah.
What do you mean?
You didn't jump up and say, we'll do it.
Why should we pay them to remove their equipment?
I agree.
Let me ask
That is
you this.
fair.
You know, it's kind of bothersome to me that we're all in this together and we're supposed to be helping each other. And I think Matt and his crew spent probably, a half a day, Matt, trying to help them get that big transformer to where they were going. Well, maybe we should build them.
That's a great idea.
I'm serious.
I did mention that to him.
You did mention that to me?
Matt, draw
I
up
think
some
$3,000
numbers.
would be just about right.
I think it would be too.
I agree.
I'm
I
not
mean,
kidding y'all.
Just send them a bill, see where it comes from. All they do is refuse to pay it.
Can we do that?
Sure can. He wants to send him a bill.
I do want to.
Yeah, I've gotta say, since Duke took over, I don't feel that warm and fuzzy hometown feel.
No, I don't.
So,
And now that Bobby's
Well, no
gone,
hard
we don't have
feelings.
anybody.
Bobby people buy
Let's send them a bill, guys.
Let's do it.
And the Bauer hadn't exactly been the best lately, I'm curious.
We got enough.
That's coming up.
Okay.
What's good for them, good for us too.
All right. The next item we have is the park dedication. We have a preliminary schedule for June 24th. This is 16th Street Park, naming it in honor of Mr. Duda Parker. We have sent it out to some of the local vendors here to try to get us some quotes on that, so we're working on getting the sign done. So that's what we're doing. Yes.
24th of this month.
Yes, that's correct. That's today we're shooting for. So we'll keep you updated on that as soon as we get something back from them. The next item is the city property tax update. Preliminary, I had contact with the property appraiser's office. It looks like the taxable value for the city is down again, another $4 million. So basically what we're looking at is overall value of the city. If that holds true, we still get the numbers, we won't see that too. The DR 420 will come from the property appraiser's office the first week in July. But if that holds true, the value is going to be around $278 million citywide. To kind of put that in perspective, back in the heyday when Mark Beach was good, you had the value was over $400 million. So you were at $282 million last year. In real dollars, what that equates to is somewhere in the neighborhood around, based on your millage of 3.5914, that equates to somewhere around $15,000 less. Last year, you levied $992,000, what you had last year. So we're not getting there as much this year either. We were hoping for an uptick, so instead of a swing of $15,000 to $20,000, like we're going to take a hit of $15,000 to $20,000 as we projected. So.
Jim, on the bright side, I did talk to Mitch, the real property is up by about $2 million, so. I did see
Countywide or city?
city in the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
The issue is still Windmark Phase 2, to my understanding on there, that you still had a lot of vacant property that really just plummeted, in the last 10 years. We keep thinking we're going to hit rock bottom on those vacant lots, and sooner or later we got to be getting close. But to my understanding, the high dollar vacant lots just have not sold. But we'll have to make a decision next month, as we always do, as to what to send back to as far as the millage. So that'll be coming next month for you. All right. Next item, Duke Energy, as we mentioned earlier. We have had some power quality issues with the city, and I believe other customers in town as well. Had a meeting today with Danny Collins. He came to see me from Duke Energy. He said they're working on it, trying to figure out what the issues are. Do not have a time frame or indication exactly what was going on, but he did come see me today on there, and we did discuss also about the $3,000 on there. And at this point, he said he did not think he could get anybody to reduce those costs for the removal of power poles. But he assured me that Duke Energy was working on the power quality issues, and did not have any answers at this point in time.
Do we have anything, I mean, Tom, I guess this question would be for you, I mean, is there anything we can do other than just doing what we're doing with them? I mean,
I don't know of anything.
There's nothing in their franchise agreement that would,
that's
you know,
what
help
I-
us a little bit.
Unless we wanted to explore going to somebody else, but I, you know, at this point, I don't even know how to do that.
Jim, I know that Eugene and them put on, they put a power quality meter
That's
on.
what I was told.
And it probably wouldn't hurt for us to make that same request for the water plant, I'll be honest with you. Now, then, John's problem on the pump station out at, Barry Dune,
Correct. And
it's off a different feeder,
it is.
off a different substation.
And I wanted to bring something up, because the board mentioned it, and touched on it earlier, about invoicing Duke Energy. I think there was a real cause to invoice them. We have a perfectly fine functioning station there, yet we've had to have a bypass point there for the. If we charge them for something, charge them for the rental of that pump, because they cannot provide us enough voltage to run that station, period. So if you want to invoice them, invoice
And
them.
that may be the appropriate way to do it, since the other was after the fact. This is an ongoing problem that Mr. Grant still has on there. That may be there.
John gets
I would
together and
I would
come up with
suggest, I
something.
think that would be the better alternative as far as an invoice for an ongoing problem that we're having in the Public Works Department.
Jim, if we tried to go above Danny's head, talk to somebody up in North Carolina,
Did you have any luck when I told you?
I started looking into that, if y'all want to, we can. A couple of things that, they are regulated by the Public Service Commission, my understanding on there. I think, there are some local representatives now that serve on that board, or previous representatives on there that may or may not be able to get some information on that. But we could also, if you like, we could also send a letter on up the chain to the president or the CEO.
Drones on that. Send he on
I think he's aware of it, I think he's been called, yeah.
But we want to bring it on tonight and make you aware of it. Anybody in the community having other problems, please let us know as well too, because we want to make sure that they understand that this isn't just a city of Port St. Joe problem, it's a community problem. So we need to know from people if they're having problems. The next item we have is in reference to Stevel and Charles Avenue. On each of those roads, we have a dead end with the water system, we have a flusher on there. It's one of those, it's been there for a number of years. We just hadn't had the funding to go out there and make the repair out there and loop it in. So it's a loop system with a 6-inch line that would also give you fire protection. Thinking on this is, recommendation will be to go out, let's go and ask the state revolving fund to see if this is something they would help us fund, and then we can bring it back to you and see about, how much funding we would have to chip in on this.
How much money are we talking about?
Roughly, the estimate that we put in there tonight is about $20,000, because you need fire hydrant assemblies, you need some, a 6-inch line,
Plus engineering.
plus engineering.
how many customers does it affect right now, the low water pressure?
I think it's about 5 or 6, I think, how many do we have?
There's 5 customers on that line.
So,
That's a lot of money. I mean, I want to take care of everybody, but we got some big issues going on right now that's affecting a lot more people than just 5 or 6. I want to help everybody, but I mean, $20,000 for 5 or 6 customers. I want to help them, but we just don't have funds right now for it. It may be something that we need to look at budget time or some other time, but we've got a whole neighborhood that's got old water pipes over there. They're getting groundwater, not just low water pressure. I bet they would take low water pressure over the brown water.
yeah, so there for your discussion. If you want us to submit it to SRF, we will. If y'all want to table it and put it on budget time, we'll set it time.
Public Works recommends this for help out there. Are you recommending this, John?
Well, no, I was simply asked to determine what the cost would be for the effects. I mean, it's, I'll answer that question right now. Does it need to happen at some point in the future? Absolutely. The county stopped their 6-inch line short. It's not very much different than Beacon Hill, in my opinion. They stopped it short when they built that system because there was nobody out there. Now, the folks that came along and built, the county still owned that system when the 2-inch was extended. That was to accommodate the folks that built it. Again, in this case, at some point, we need to do it, just like Beacon Hill needs to be looked at, because there's not enough fire protection. There's not enough loose streets or system in that system to keep the water moving.
Right now, John, in the present conditions, we have adequate fire control out there.
There are 2 hydrants on Charles and Stephen. The 800 feet plus proposed fire departments will have to roll out. So I'm assuming they can do that. I know St. Joe in particular, the beach, there's 1,000 to 1,200 feet of trucks. I think they can get to it. And that's a question for White City Volunteer Fire Department to answer rather than me, because I'm not sure of the equipment. I would think so. But we do need to look at it at some point. If you want to go out and look at SRF to see what they would, say we can certainly do it, or if you want to wait. One thing I would recommend, I know fire protection is an issue, but I don't know if we would have to make that line in its entirety, 6-inch, or let's, discuss with Clay, and perhaps there's an option to reduce that down to a certain point that might save some money. Perhaps we could reduce that down and still maintain the underflow.
Jim, that SRF, that's a loan, is that correct? It's low interest?
It is, basically, it's based on what they've done in the past, they'll have a certain percentage loan, certain amount of grant. So basically what you have to do is, you have to submit it up to them and they review it on a case-by-case basis.
A lot of times if we give half of it, so if we did get that done, that'd be a pretty good deal.
Are we committed if we submit for it?
To you, probably.
I'd say let's submit it and see what we can get. By the time we get approved, it'll be budget time anyway.
We'll see what we get. The next item we have is in reference to Ms. Todd on the payout of her annual leave and sick leave upon retirement. If you'll flip over to your folder, we do have a handout there that shows what her balance was.
It's, all budgeted.
We had roughly $20,000, so there's roughly about $2,000 that's not budgeted on there. We budgeted $20,000, so we were off by about $2,000, I think.
Will she let us pay the other 2018?
For the service she gave us. I'll make the motion.
We recommend giving
Second.
Yeah, for sure.
Motion by Commissioner McCrone, second by Commissioner Brazil. Further discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, the next item is in reference to the city construction crew pay. Commissioner Thursby want to talk to you tonight about it.
Guys, in the past, we've with the underground utility workers, we've given them a little bit of a pay increase on the, bigger jobs. We got a unique crew. By us being able to do this on our own, we can take a job and do for what may be an $80,000 job that we used to have to contract out, we can do for $6,000 to $8,000 now. We've got all the equipment to do it. There's only about, I think, 4 or 5 maybe on this crew. And I've asked John to get together, put some numbers together. And I would like to see us give them their pay increase for their jobs, like for the Cape. And we do have an ending point on this, and John, and I talked about what that might be, but I'd like to go ahead and move forward to try to give them that while they have these bigger jobs going.
You just talking about specialty pay for certain things that require additional skills.
Are you talking about a permanent pay increase?
No, sir.
Or you,
I'm talking
How did-
about
how-
kind of like we did Rex here in town on the water.
yeah, I remember that.
And that was brought to me by some of the employers, and they're in the trenches out there. They're saving the city a lot of money. And
Well, at some point in time, that might be part of a job description when they take a job. So we hire somebody new and part of the job description is gonna be doing these things. So I mean, every time we come up with something where we save the city a little money, it's gonna be very difficult, especially with the other employees, that we're giving this amount of money for a little bit of time. How do you control it? Are they there 40 hours a week, every week, John, just doing this thing, or sometimes you work out there and sometimes they come back and do things in town? I'm wondering how in the world we control that.
John, you want to come up with some kind of plan or something? To bring that,
I mean, typically they're there on the project start to finish. Now, are there times that depending on, what you might be waiting on, whether it's a clearance or something from that DPS?
I mean, you're talking about raining or something, they're not able to work.
This
How do you,
happens.
well,
Rain days
there 2 days it rained and we're gonna pay them the extra pay and other folks are out working in the rain. I don't know, it's just a can of worms. I don't know how we're gonna.
John, I forgive them every dollar I give them. But I tell you what, we've run into, and I've heard it. So-and-so over here is making so-and-so, and he ain't working on that today. I've heard it from Eric, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not here too every day. I hear a lot more.
You know what I'm saying, but
I guess, if I were, could make a comment on it, it is something that's a little different, in my opinion. It's a little different from the day in, day out work the employee gets hired to do. It's not repairing the broken water line, or it's not, cleaning the sewer, this is something that very few municipalities do. I mean, very, very few. So, we are unique in the respect that we have the crew and the equipment, the time that we can do it. We've done a really good job at it. So I don't, while I understand what you're saying, I don't necessarily agree completely with comparing this guy to that guy, because there are two different types of work involved.
yeah, I agree with you. I'm just talking about overall morale of men. I think, you know what I'm saying, it causes, I think you come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Well, they're not doing this work all the time. Is that correct?
No, I mean, it's not done, in some cases 5 days a week. You can't say that it wasn't done that way on phase 2 water. We may have a 6-inch water main rupture somewhere that, it shuts the underground crew down.
John, I know last time we put the water lines in, we agreed to give, the construction crew more money.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's correct.
as long as they were working on that project.
And that's correct, and that's,
And that's the same thing I'm asking for here.
Well, and I'm all for it, because you're giving these guys a skill, they've got a skill that they can go down the road, making a whole lot more money. And I don't want that to enter into their mind. We need to hold on to
Well,
that.
they don't get the same pay regardless of what work they're doing.
Be as needed. Oh, I'm saying,
But
here.
that's my point there. How do we know?
When they're working on those things, they're getting extra pay.
From a payroll.
Raise their pay. What are we talking about for raising it? How much?
well, I mean, those numbers, Jim and I have talked about briefly today. We based, some preliminary numbers on the first phase 2 water. They were a little lower than that, just to some degree, based on the position, based on the accountability.
But is there a way in our payroll system you could offer, just call it a $2 incentive pay, and have that just added to each paycheck? That's possible.
Yeah, if John can identify the hours, we can break it out to different pay rates.
And I think you need to come up with some type of schedule.
Well, and that's what, if the board, saying that, you're saying, it makes perfect sense. I mean, that's what we have to do. If it's, 20 hours a week of a project, we're not gonna pay them for it. It's 20 if we do it in simultaneous.
We gotta have some kind of accountability on that if we're gonna do it. And these guys get called out, do they work overtime also?
2 of them are subject to call-outs, correct?
So what, if they get called out, they gonna get paid the higher thing with time and a half, or they gonna get paid their regular
From what
hours?
I'm hearing, I think it makes sense that you bring them to the regular rate of pay, when they're not working on.
We just gotta figure out the mechanism, I
Well,
think.
well, John would have to report the hours, basically.
That's correct. Right, I would be.
And where would the extra money come from? Do we have any in our budget?
We're gonna be looking at.
I'd have to look at you, Mayor.
You know what I'm saying?
We're already over our overtime budget.
Yeah.
That's one thing annually we can never predict, as well as the utilities, how many call-outs we're gonna have, and what's gonna break, what's not gonna break.
But I think, John, you're at 60%, I think, of your annual payroll already.
go through the roof eventually, you know.
It's, you know, summer's always typical, there's no question about it. We, right now, we're averaging the, you know, mid-20s to, you know, mid-30, hours.
John, could you, maybe
Yeah.
you, could maybe you and Mike and Jim get together, or you come up with a plan, send it to them, however works best for you, to try to answer some of the questions you've heard tonight, and let me bring this back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I support it, where's the money?
And that's always the $1,000,000 question.
We'll work on it, bring it back to you. The last item I have tonight under new business, a fee waiver request. I'm sorry, I did, I apologize, I
Community
left one out.
swimming pool.
Yep, I left this off.
Okay. Folks, we have, we've been on a fundraiser project for this for 6 months. There's a community public swimming pool at the golf course. It's heavily utilized by the summer recreation people. I've been out there numerous times. Last summer, a yellow school bus pulls up from Washington Recreation area. They have a ball, but the county closes down. And so it's gonna cost $27,500 to get it fixed. We've raised, we had a fundraiser last week. I think we're getting close to getting that amount of money, but there's nowhere else folks learn how to swim. We had a young man did a scuba lesson so he could get in the Navy SEAL program. It's been a lot of good things happen out there. Yeah, they charge a little admission, but they don't charge it to the city recreation folks. They just free gratis, but $5 charge per head for a user fee just to keep chemicals and everything else. But I brought it up. I'd like comments from other board members if they think it would be a place that we could possibly give a little money to help get this thing open sometime this summer. It's not a country club. It's a golf course, public. We pay county taxes. It's not a 501(c) nonprofit. It's a for-profit golf course. It pays taxes on about 178 acres plus a building, everything else. So I would beg anybody to come out and swim, enjoy it, and see what goes on out there. You go out there mid-morning or mid-afternoon in the hot time of the year when it's open, it's just jam-packed with folks enjoying it. Tourists, the husband playing golf, the wife and grandkids may be swimming in the pool. So anyway,
How much you talking about?
I'm not gonna ask for that. I'd let you guys think about it and say, what you might think it'd be worth to have basically, the way I look at it, it's a city and a county park that the city nor the county pay any maintenance on whatsoever. It's a restaurant, weddings out there, a golf course, tennis courts, swimming pool. You got it all. You pay, city or county pays nothing. But everybody enjoys it, and I hope they will continue, because it's a real asset to our county.
And I know Joanna White, their summer program, they use it.
They used it a lot last year when I was out there with my grands. They were using it all the time. So anyway, I'd like to see if we could do something to help get this thing open.
What I wanna say is, it gives me heartburn sometimes when we get asked money and nobody's doing any fundraisers, they're just sitting back with their hand out asking. Rex approached the TDC, I don't know if they're gonna be able to help out, but
I am gonna approach the county.
and we're gonna approach
also,
everybody.
I'm gonna approach the county.
I would like to, see us get $1,500, y'all, out of BP money to this funding.
Do you need
Is that
something
a
tonight or?
motion?
I don't know.
Yes, I make that motion.
Second kind of discussion, talking about.
For discussion. Yeah, something along those lines. We've
Motion
raised,
by Commissioner Rosetta, second by Commissioner Litton.
no, it's Ashbrook second.
For discussion.
You seconded, Jay?
No, I never second.
You said so much, I got
I'm
confused.
sorry.
All right, we got it straight.
So, what I was gonna say, Commissioner Thurgood, we raised about $20,000. I haven't approached the county yet. I was hoping that maybe out of the 1 cent bed tax recreation fund, we could get a little help out of them. Tapper Trust gave $5,000 that we had to match. We got that match, so we're getting there. And the golf course board already said we're gonna do it. And now we're scrambling around trying to find the money to pay for it. But they see a need for it. It's a great need. Great need.
It's not in the city. I'm 100% for it, and I'll probably vote for it. It does give me a little bit of heartburn, but it is something that we all use. We don't get the tax benefits of that. But I heard that they were a lot closer than that, so I wasn't quite sure.
I hope you're right. I don't have a good handle on it, and then I can get that.
My only request would be, let's see if we could, let's see if we got any money left from repairing the lights on that walking trail. Maybe that $1,500 could come out of the money that we got from the county.
I'm not sure.
I mean, and if not,
Can we use it for that? I think it was earmarked for something, wasn't it? That 10,000 TDC.
I believe it's gonna be within the city limits, I would imagine. I'll have to confirm that with the TDC, but there is $10,000 earmarked for city, but I'm not sure the rules on that. We can ask if that's the rule.
So you second the motion for 1,500.
Do you actually need money tonight, or you?
They need it, well, they're gonna start on the 10th, which is what, Thursday?
Gonna write him a check back? See how much I got.
I would say if it passed, we'd need, whenever the city can write a check.
I'm fine with it. My bank account, I never have to worry about identity theft. It's not enough there to get. Regardless of what you might think.
I know that well utilized, but.
Well, those children coming out there, that's what's so.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is reference to the fee waiver request for the Washington Gym. The Gulf County Emancipation Day Celebration Committee has an event scheduled for the facility. Staff recommendation would be to grant this waiver.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lizette, second by Commissioner Crum. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, let's hit all you got.
Yes, sir.
Public Works.
Mayor, I have nothing. Question from the board.
Anybody got anything for John?
And we're gonna start the work on the windows at the Centennial Building that we're leaving.
Fix the roof first.
Yeah, well, okay, all right, whatever.
No.
Either one of them, I'll take either
Yeah,
one
we
of
have
them.
two different people, so we're good.
All right, ask Mr. Jimmy Griffin if he can do that.
Surface water plant.
Yes, Mayor, on your agenda, it says why city tank requests to bid cleaning. That's actually painting. We need to see about cleaning. Yes, we need to see about getting that tank painted. That's the hydro pneumatic tank out there at White City, and, we budgeted actually last year for this, but about $15,000. It's in the budget. How much? $14,000.
It is in the budget.
Yes, sir. So we need to go out to bid and see if we can get it within our budgetary amount, but we're hopeful.
You need money to go out to bid, I'll make that
Motion
motion.
by Mr. Thursby, second by Mr. Ashby. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, let's go to the wastewater plant. They were, got a new man tonight. You on the block.
There's always a lot of questions about algae and stuff like that, so, we're months ahead of where we were last year here before. So, some structures are beneficial. Nothing's gonna be 100% effective. We've already got months down the road from where we were last year, so we are helping. Not spraying, right now, we're looking for a pipe leak in the effluent district. So, we've got a pipe full, pipe off, it's about 2,200 for the pipe. So we're looking for a leak now, since we get that
pipe located, Kevin?
It's at the other end of the lagoon. It's the pipe that runs from the other end all the way around to the Philippines. So, yeah, it's a lot of pipe. It's underground.
No.
Best we can tell, we got a leak in the system. It's the first link to get to the spray field, so it's critical for him to be able to spray to get it out to the field.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's all we got.
Do I have any questions? Come on up, see you. Well, let's take that plaque back in.
I can let you hold it for a few weeks if you need to. We followed up, I don't have it yet, I don't have it yet, but DOT has it, we've had it for over a month now, so I really expect any day we'll continue to fund it and follow up. That's where it is.
Hurry up, Mike.
Yes, sir.
That's it? Any questions for Clyde? Nope.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, Larry.
Code enforcement, take a look. Now, I don't know if anybody's been down to, corner of First Street and Woodward Avenue. Looks very nice. But this is what we're all about, keeping our city clean. Now, those people that own that property, we had to go to the extent of putting them on a master thing, and they were being charged $20 a day until they got it cleaned up. If you go down and look, it looks real good. We're coming after other people in the city. If you have property, you need to keep it clean. If it was growed up when you bought it, you can leave it growed up. If it looked kind of decent when you bought it, it's got to look that for the life of the property. We're not going to let you just let stuff grow up. And we've got stuff growing up all over the place. And we're not just going after the little man, we're going after the big man too. So, if you got property, keep it clean, or sell it. Let somebody else keep it clean for you. That's all I have to say on that. Next, police department.
I don't have anything, Mayor, unless the board has something for me.
Anybody have
When will your
anything?
radios and all that, what's the long-range plan for installation of
Our walkie-talkie should be here this week. They should install the car radios next week, if everything goes as planned.
And you look, hey, you look very nice on TV the other night. You did a good job, man.
Ms. City Clerk?
Mr. Mayor, we're ready for the city runoff next week. We have sent out a code red encouraging people to early vote. We have put it on the sign at the intersection of 71 and 98. We have it in the Star. The Star is having something this week reminding people to early vote as well as vote next Tuesday. So we're doing all we can, pushing. On another item, the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust has 2 vacancies on their board of directors. If any of you are interested in serving, it requires meetings. You have to submit a bio and an application. But if anybody is interested, please see me tomorrow and I will get you the necessary paperwork.
What is this for?
Florida Municipal Insurance Trust Board of Directors. It's our insurance.
Anything else, Ms. Charlotte?
No, sir.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Charlotte? No questions for Ms. Charlotte?
The canvassing board that we used for the general election, Commissioner Ashbrook served on that and I did. Are there any problems with the 2 of us serving as the canvassing board next week?
Anybody have a problem with that? Okay, go for it.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, citizens be heard. Who in the audience would like to speak tonight? Come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Linda Tashuti. I know most of you, some of you I don't know. Mr. Ashbrook,
Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you're on my side of the woods. You are our representative, county commissioner, which group?
No, city, the city,
The whole
all of us
city.
I mean,
represent
I
everybody.
mean city,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean
Every
city.
one of us.
we all
Okay.
represent everybody?
I'm glad to meet you, because I didn't know who you was. I'm gonna be jumping all over the place. I just went to a meeting and I apologize. Yeah, because I thought it was the city commission meeting. But nevertheless, I was here 2 years ago and I found out some of the answers that I needed answered here over in the other meeting. I was here 2 years ago, September of 2014, for a sidewalk for the Langston Drive. I understand that question has been answered for me. Street lights has already been put up. Okay, my main concern is the pipes on the corner of Avenue D and Battle Street where I live. At least 2 or 3 times a month, there's somebody out there, either day or night. I don't know what the problem is. We had it last night. It was a sinkhole to me, but I don't know. Well, anyway, they was out fixing it today. My thing is, after they repair something in the street, fix the road back. Don't just vouch it up. Fix it back. I mean, it looks terrible. If you go down the street, and it's not only on Northwest St. Joe, I've seen some streets going to work the same way. Fix it up. Your city workers or whoever, they need to, instead of patching the street, they need to fix it up better than
One
they do.
moment, John, what was that? There is a sewer issue on Avenue D from Ballard to MLK.
That's what it
We worked there 2 weeks ago, replaced about 16 feet of pipe. We worked today, replaced an additional 30 feet of pipe. I'm not saying we'll be back in, a week, 2 or 3, replace another 40 feet. So we feel comfortable with the repair today.
Okay.
Now, how long will that last? It depends on, the rest of that pipe going down that street is in need of repair.
They went pretty deep today, so it probably
Well,
might last a while.
I hope it does, but at some point, that's one of the areas on the CDBG phase 3 that, the city kind of shelved about 4 or 5 years ago because of funding that we couldn't do. So, we know the area, we know there's problems, and all we can do is continue to patch.
Okay, goes back to the funding, I'm glad you said that. With the pipes, I understand that we have money, because I've heard a lot of money going out to different agencies. A lot of money. We just a little group in the corner over there. Can't we get some of this money on the north side to beautify our side?
Mr. Shooting, if all goes well, and we get the CDBG grant, that's what, 500,000, Jim?
650, and the city's committed 25,000 max, is 650.
And it's my understanding that every bit of that we're talking about right now is gonna be spent on North Fort St. Joe's, finishing up that spot. Do I agree with you that maybe I think the whole thing got started backwards? Yes. But you know what, that's where we are. But I do feel like that over the next year, we're gonna be in good shape over there.
Okay, and we keep talking about grants. What about the BP money that the city has? Have y'all decided on
Try to
how
use
you
that
gonna
for
spend?
leverage for grants too. Like if we get a 60-40 grant, it's $100,000, and we can use that money for leverage, and that's one reason we tried to hold on to it.
Okay, but do you have something where you say we're gonna put this X amount of dollars here, or this X amount of dollars here, or this money here, or you wait until there's a project that needs to be done and you go about it that way? How do you?
That's about how we go about it. We wait until the project comes to us and then we try to fund it.
Okay. The garbage pickup is a simple complaint. If it's a holiday on Thursday, why you send the garbage man out before the holiday and knowing we gonna have trash after the holiday? That don't make sense. You understand what I'm saying? If Thursday fall on a holiday, if you come over on my side on Thursday, holiday falls, why can't you wait one day to pick the trash up instead of us having to go a whole week or two, a week without having garbage picked up?
Chester's he's a
We
fast
can't-
leader,
Okay, one person at a time, one
Come on,
person at a time,
Just
one
let
person at a time.
we contract with Waste Pro, and they set their schedule, basically.
It's not, we don't.
Chester? Emphasize, Chester.
I told answer that for Waste Pro in the old days, they do have a schedule, and they do not deviate from that schedule other than to recollect when they can on holidays. They do not, they used to take off for holidays, but now they work holidays. But they do not, they work by schedule.
Generally, your residential's picked up on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so they, very rarely do they deviate away from that Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. But
So it's Monday over here, Wednesday over here, and Friday on the beach.
They get mine on Friday.
Friday is,
We're talking about city limits.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So basically, We have a city map if you wanna come see the map, but those 3 days, they split Port St. Joe up over 3 days.
3 days.
And that's the residential, commercial's a little different.
Okay, that's understandable. You mentioned about, Mr. Brissette, about money for the Centennial Building and money for the country club,
Golf.
golf, is a golf
Golf
club?
course is not
It's not the Centennial, where's the pool at?
Excuse me?
Where's the pool at?
It's at the golf course.
The pool is at the golf course?
St. Joe got all day golf course.
Summer recreation is only for so many weeks.
Right.
Can't we get some money at the gym over there to expand or build something, a pool or something? Because summer recreation is only for a few weeks.
Well,
It's hot
people
in Port
utilize
St.
it all
Joe.
year. I mean, as long as it's open, people are still coming out there. Just because summer recreation's over, doesn't keep those kids from coming out there with parents.
Well, you mentioned housing bus from the gym to the,
They were doing that,
golf
yeah.
club, and they do it now. But I'm saying, it's hot in Port St. Joe almost year round.
I tell you what, I'd be love to do with you sometime. I'd like to meet with you and Jim and Mike LaCour and sit down and let you see what's spent in the city and where, because I know for a fact, last year we spent over $100,000 in the Washington Gym area alone, and
And guess
and
what?
I-
Patching it
there's-
up, patching it, not fixing it,
well,
but patching
but
it.
the fact is, you were talking about spending money. We spent money, and there's no other place in the city, a small place like that we spend that much money. We hadn't spent $10,000 hardly on the Centennial Building in
When the
20
last
years.
time you spent some money over the north side?
I'd have to get Mr. LaCour, but we could sit here tonight talking
But
about
see,
it.
that's why I didn't come for a controversy with you.
it-
I'm just, you mentioned the Centennial Building and the pool.
And that's why I
And
said,
I'm coming out with my
that's why I
questions.
said, let's meet.
I don't mind doing that. I don't mind
anytime,
doing that.
You call Jim and let's set up a meeting, I'd be more than happy to. We
Just
go
put
over
it in
and
the
it would
paper,
answer your
public, no,
question.
don't you have a public notice? When y'all have a meeting, put it in the paper. We spent X amount of dollars here, we
No,
spent
you
X
don't
amount
say,
of dollars
no,
here.
it's just a notice that you have a meeting, we don't say where we spend the money.
Okay, well, I think everybody needs to know, not just me, everybody needs to know where the tax money is going. Not
publish the
just
budget.
me.
We publish the budget.
It's in the paper.
But that's once a year.
Right.
For 3 weeks or something.
You get defensive, but I'm
I'm not, no, I'm
Yes, you
not,
do.
that's not defensive, that's educational.
Yes,
I'm
well,
trying
you
to
can call it what
educate.
you want, I'm just saying, you always gotta, even with the people up here on your panel, y'all going back and forth, if everybody was right and was doing the right thing, we wouldn't have to go through all of this.
Exactly right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Judy.
Anyone else? Come on up.
Oh, you still got it in the back? Yes, sir. Extremely.
He must have been a little smaller man back then.
I'm still big, man. I'm big. I cover the whole court.
Yes, sir.
I
State
got
your
it.
name and all for the record.
Okay, my name is Otis Stallworth Jr., and I'm from the north side of Port St. Joe. My father used to own a grocery store on what was called Main Street back then. Part of what I'm here for is, Ms. Linda covered part of it on the infrastructure part of it. We're looking at using some of the, well, shall I say, applying for some of the Restore Act money. I understand phase 1 has already been committed. We talked to Mr. Yeager, and he explained to us, along with Ms. McElroy, that the proper way of applying for this is to put an application into the city, because the state and federal government prefers to allocate this through the municipality. So, Mr. Yeager explained that there are some funds that are allocated in phase 1 that probably won't get spent. And we can use those funds in North Port St. Joe if we apply for them. But the city has petitioned the county for the use of those funds. My request to you is, if we bring the application forward, then you guys, much like Mr. Thursby said, the funds that are coming in, commit those funds to North Port St. Joe so that we can improve our area over there to bring it back up to standard. Just coming back to the community and visiting with some of the people, there is a distaste for local government. And I want to change that, because it wasn't that way. At some time, you can pick up your phone and call your commissioner and fuss them out on the phone and not have to have a dialogue at these town meetings. And I want to get back to that point. I know you guys all represent our areas at large, but there are going to be some times when I might get along with David where me and Phil might fuss and fight over certain things. So in that case, David may be that sounding board that I go to. So my question is, on the north side, if you see us stepping out of line, because this is a new territory for us, many of the citizens have not gotten involved at this level. So if you see us stepping out of line, we're not doing it the right way, don't shut us down. Tell us how to do it the right way. Okay, because the Bible tells us that a fool does not learn from somebody giving them instructions. If you read Proverbs, it talks to you about always listen for instructions. So we need to learn, we need to follow the guidelines you guys have set in place for us, but at the same time, we need help. And at large, we're asking for help. Okay?
We're all in this together, and we want to see y'all do great things, so you need us, you call us.
All right.
I believe every one of us be there, do what we can.
Most of the time, the frustration is miscommunication.
I agree.
Just like the meeting earlier today, we all just need to get on the same page.
I agree 100%.
Always pick up the phone, call any one of us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up, Justin. Hey.
I just want to
Come on here, state your name, nobody might not know you.
Guys, I just want to give y'all credit. Y'all got a good staff working around you guys. The only thing I got a problem with, everybody around here got something to help take care of it at the end of the month. You guys get chewed out. You guys get chewed on, stepped on, cuffed out, spit on. You guys take it off. Something go wrong, they don't go to these guys. They come to you guys. Y'all need to sit down and put yourself together on salary. I'm just being real with you. Everybody around you guys got a salary, except the people who take it. The county guys got a salary. The school board guys got a salary. I just sat back here and watched you guys come up with money that y'all say you didn't have, but you come up with it. And to go through what you guys go through, this guy trying to fix the air conditioner and the telephone started running. Now that telephone ain't paying. The air conditioner is what's paying. This guy trying to spray balls, he can't do his job. Mr. President, I ain't gonna talk about you.
I'm trying to keep people well.
But you guys understand what I'm saying.
Ray selling drugs,
y'all understand. But you guys understand what I'm saying. That's a good business in. But you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm not up here complaining about nothing. I'm just up here that my representative, I don't feel like you guys is getting what y'all should get for what y'all go through. Now, I'm not saying you get a whole bunch, but y'all need to give yourself something. If it ain't no more $1,000 to $1,500 a month, you guys need to quit worrying about everybody else's problem. Get on y'all problem, give yourself a little change. Okay?
I agree.
Mr. President, that community swimming pool that you're working on, I like that, but what we need to do is put together a plan so we can put up a big, nice community swimming pool within the city. I'm not saying don't help that out, because they're doing great things. That swimming program, that was something that me and Ms. Joanna White worked with the kids to get started. It was good. But we need to work together to put up a large community swimming pool, because it's a shame that we got kids that live 2 miles from the water and don't know how to swim. So that's something that we need to put together, and I know you guys can do it. And the money is out there. If you look in the right holes, you'll find it.
Great.
So y'all guys keep up the good work.
Appreciate it.
Come on up, Mr. Justin.
Okay. I'm Chester Davis, pastor of Filling Up Church. I live at 282 Avenue D. Be very brief, based upon the fact that, first I want to thank the redevelopment for being a blessing to us today. Then second of all, the Juneteenth celebration. We want to invite the entire community out. The celebration is based upon history, but at the celebration that we're doing it to enlighten our community, bring them aboard on some of the things that we need to be doing inside the city. It's an awakening moment that we want to not necessarily celebrate all that happened yesterday, but to bring enlightenment to the people of this community as to what we're trying to do for redevelopment, for making our community a spotlight again, and so forth and so on. So we're inviting you out to come and see what we're all about and hear some of the things that we're saying, because we're trying to wake up our community. And I'm one of the ones that advocate that it should never be a north or south Port St. Joe. It should be Port St. Joe. So thank you for allowing us to have the use of the gym, and we're gonna put it to good use. We're gonna try to raise some funds. We'll have a lot of activities going on, and I think you'll be impressed. We're asking all the city to come out, including the fire department, whatever, so that we can put on some exhibits. So you will have something you want to share with someone. It'll be a good time to do it, and you can get to know the community. Thank you.
Did you say June 10th?
It'll be 25th.
25th, okay.
From 1 o'clock to 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, anyone else?
Bill, I'm cooking the barbecue that day. I hear you.
Come on up.
Christy McElroy. I kind of want to wrap something up. And you'll be pleased to know I've lost my notes, so I'll make it pretty quick. First of all, I want to hand out something to you guys as a reminder, and then I'd like you guys to kind of look at the packet a little bit. Chief, since it's a legal matter, you definitely need this. All right. On March 1st, I came before you guys to talk about Dave Mazzio, a man that was misrepresenting himself and saying that he was here in Port St. Joe to open up our port. Today, we've heard a lot of need, repairing of roofs, repairing of swimming pools, repairing of sewers, etc. We need business in here. And one thing that I said on March 1st was this person was misrepresenting himself and basically hurting our reputation by doing so. It went even further, because if you turn to page 3, what you'll see is a report from Investigator Dickey. And what Investigator Dickey found out was that this man, of course, not only had a con several years ago in New York and was making restitution for $150,000, and I had mentioned that he was misrepresenting himself here, but he also tried to defraud an innkeeper out on the Cape. So there was a warrant process for this man's arrest for a third-degree felony, and nobody could find him. But he did lawyer up with an attorney called McCahill, and McCahill contacted Investigator Dickey, wanted the whole thing to go away, just go away. Here the man had come in, misrepresented himself, now defrauded a local person, and he wanted it all to go away. And Investigator Dickey said, you can't do it like that. We put a warrant out for this man's arrest, and your client needs to turn himself in. Well, that advice wasn't taken. And so Mr. Mazzio went and made restitution to the innkeeper. Now, my thing is this. The Sheriff's Department spent about 16 hours on this case. They told the attorney what Dave Mazzio needed to do. And he chose not to do it and went around the law and made restitution. Now all this started in the middle of February. I came before you March 1st. I caught a lot of grief about this, by the way, for bringing this out in the open. It all went away on May 3rd. That's a price to a lot of people in different entities. It's a price to our sheriff department and our law enforcement. Time is money, and we need to respect the folks that are elected to police us and are appointed to police us. That's important, and we need to respect the law. The second people that it impacted was the citizens. Really, it did. Because then, after all this, he has sent chaos in motion. People are running around looking for him. He's still misrepresenting himself to legitimate business people. And you'll see on the last page a quote from Dan Velasquez from St. Joe Company. Because these legitimate people had sent money to Mazzio with the understanding that he was here to help, and he wasn't. He had their money, but he wasn't here to help. Now Dan was trying to intercede on these legitimate businesses' behalf in order to help us get business here. So it hurts our reputation. It hurts big business that's trying to come in. It hurts legitimate people that are working hard to bring in business. And if we don't do this right, guys, we can't fix the things we need to fix because we're not going to attract the right people. So there was a beginning and an end. And I think the main thing is if you meet these types of people and you vet them and you find out that they've got problems in their past, maybe you ought to just move on and try to find legitimate people that can really help us. And don't waste your time with these folks that aren't going to help us and are going to hurt us. Because we need business. Because the thing is, if tourism was truly doing it here, we'd have our swimming pool fixed. We'd have our roof fixed. We would have our bike paths fixed. We'd have our fountains flowing. We'd have our sewers over in the north end fixed. Everything would be fixed. So make no mistake, your reputation is everything. And we need to invest our time and our efforts in legitimate people.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else in the audience wish to be heard?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to speak if there's no one else, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief. Mr. Mayor, I'm speaking as a citizen, and this is addressed to you in the commission, and I'm going to read it. I am compelled by recent events to make a statement and share some thoughts with you. On behalf of the Pierce family, I would like to read the following statement for the record. We understand that your vote tonight is a formality concluding the settlement offered on May 27, 2016 to former Officer Garner. We also understand that it was a favorable business deal for the city by eliminating a civil suit while absolving the city and its employees of future lawsuits by David Garner. However, it is a very bitter pill for our family to swallow. On February 11, 2015, our son died while in custody of this officer. There were only two people in the building at that time. One of them can never tell us what happened, and the other has refused to tell what happened. The officer has refused to speak with FDLE during its investigation or cooperate in any way with the city's investigation. As Commissioner Bezette stated months back, and this is a quote, no one is lobbying for the Pierce family, end of quote. We have not asked for, nor have we received any compensation for our loss. We have not received as much as an apology from the officer. In stark contrast, the officer filed a grievance and two civil lawsuits seeking financial compensation for himself. He has requested compensation for pain and suffering. I would suggest to you that he has not known the pain and the suffering that our family has known. Quoting from State Attorney Glenn Hess' letter of August 5, 2015 to Chief Matt Herring, It is clear that Mr. Pierce's death was the direct result of professional shortcomings by Sergeant William Garner, and that's the end of quote. To our family, it is unconscionable that any funds would be awarded to this officer, whether he receives any funds personally or whether the funds go entirely to his multiple attorneys. Throughout this ongoing nightmare, City Manager Jim Anderson, Chief of Police Matt Herring, and his department had demonstrated the utmost professionalism and integrity. The City of Port St. Joe is fortunate to have Mr. Anderson and Chief Herring leading the daily operations of the city. I trust that the city will prevail in the remaining workers' compensation lawsuit brought by the officer. Your vote tonight brings closure for the city on several issues, but there is no closure for the Pierce family because there are so many unanswered questions remaining from the night of February the 11th, 2015. It is with humble and grateful hearts that we say thank you to Port St. Joe and the surrounding communities for the overwhelming outpouring of love, support, and encouragement that we have received during Jonathan's untimely death. Their many acts of kindness have helped to make a very difficult time more bearable. When a tragedy occurs, the Port St. Joe community cannot be equaled for undergirding the families affected. We have been blessed by their generosity and are so grateful for it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? I would just, like to say to the Pierce family, y'all have suffered a lot. My yes vote tonight was only because I was told that you would be okay with it. If I'd been told that you didn't want us to vote that way, I would have voted no. But I was not told that. I was told that you would be okay if we voted yes. That's why I voted yes. And I was actually surprised to get 2 no votes because I thought everybody was on the same page after we had our meeting when we had Mr. Gardner up there that day. But we all went in the meetings 2 or 3 different times, and I made it very clear to everybody that I would do what Ms. Charlotte wanted done. And I was assured that you were okay with our yes, we voted to give this to him, that you would be okay. So I just wanted to explain to you why I voted yes tonight.
I was also under the same impression that it was a consensus of everybody. You didn't do away with it. I was also surprised.
Any other citizens? Start you, Mr. Brissette.
That's not, Mayor.
Nothing.
We need to get his hair fixed.
Yeah, we do need to get this air conditioner fixed.
Yeah, I do have one thing, tonight's last meeting.
He'll be in the next one, he'll be in the next one, he just won't be in the whole meeting. He gets to start.
Okay, well, anyway, anybody that's got a lot of calls or complaints or anything this week, y'all please call Phil. Give him a whirlwind this last week. Thank you, that's all I got.
Thank you.
All right. I don't have anything tonight, just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.